Joined live by a serving Ukrainian army officer, an important voice. Let's quickly go across to Major Pavlo Kazan, who's joining us on the phone line. Major Kazan, first up, how are you keeping? What's going on? Tell us all about what you're witnessing around yourself.
Hello, I am a Major at Territorial Defense of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. And we told many times from the beginning of the war, since 2014, that this war is not just a war between Russia and Ukraine, but this war is against Russia and the civilized world. And I believe that today and this time is a milestone of the world's democracy. And we have to answer on the questions. Are you ready? Are we ready to protect our world design? International law, rule of law, social justice. And finally, are we ready to protect human lives? And we can see that our enemy of the civilized world, Russian Federation, are shelling now our cities, our buildings, homes. They're killing our people, they're killing our children. And this is terroristic country. And we believe that all civilized countries, that all countries will protect globally, to protect the world from these terroristic actions of Russian Federation. We call for strict sanctions as much as possible. We need to close our air to protect us from military aircraft, from missiles, from bombing, from Russia's sides. We call to switch off SWIFT of Russia and to stop all trade relations between other countries and Russia. We have to protect the world from this terroristic activity and to protect our people. Here we organized and many people are coming now to armed forces of Ukraine, first of all, to territorial defenders. And it is really easy for everybody who can bring the weapon, for men and women, to protect our cities, villages. They can go to territorial defense to get a weapon and to have their places in the protection of our motherland.
Major Pavlo Kazan, as we continue speaking with you, I want to ask you, are there any areas that are particularly under siege? Have people spoken out? What is happening when we are getting visuals from Ukraine of a lot of them in bomb shelters, children and women? How are the citizens and civilians in different parts and cities really staying right now?
It's really difficult, and people are very well informed. People know about the algorithms of what they have to do. They go into shelters or some safe places. They try to make their first aid. And now, for example, just I'm next to the roads with the emergency and with the hospital cars, because I'm very close to the military hospital, and we can see that many emergency cars come into the hospital with wounded soldiers and officers. And of course, it's really difficult for our people now, but people are very brave, and they are really heroes. Not only soldiers and officers, but also civilian people who are protecting from enemy, from Russia, and who are keeping their spirit and solidarity, and everybody trust to Ukrainian army, and trust, and they want to protect us, and they believe that the civilized world, the Europe, the USA, and UK, and other countries will help us as much as possible with weapons, with with equipment and also with troops, because we need much more troops, much more forces, and much more weapons, of course.
Yes. Go ahead, Crispin.
Yeah, Major Pavlo, you know, not just Russia and the West, but Ukraine and Russia are also engaged in an information war. It's really important for us to know from you right now, militarily speaking, where does Ukraine stand at this point in time? Russia is making several claims. It's saying some of the cities have fallen already. The Ukrainian president is extremely confident. He's saying Kiev is still with them. They're going to fight till the very end. What's going on? Tell us the ground situation. How much damage has been caused already by the Russian forces?
Yes, it's many damages from Russian forces, but at the same time, we also damaged them very much, and much more damaged than they damaged us. It's the hundreds of soldiers, it's the hundreds of vehicles and tanks and some wheels vehicles and a lot of equipment which was damaged, and aircrafts and helicopters, Russian helicopters and Russian aircraft who have been damaged by Ukrainian army. But Kiev is now, of course, it's under control of government, and we believe that we will protect our capital and will protect other cities from Russian terrorism.
Yes, and Major Pavlo, you're a serving Ukrainian army officer. We are going to respect the sentiments of everyone in Ukraine, including the army, and not be asking you your location. We want to get a sense of the firing, the explosions, the bombings that are taking place, because a lot of people have now moved to the borders, whether it's the Polish border, and trying to get refuge. Are people safely able to move out? And the people that are there in the cities in Ukraine, how are they handling this invasion?
The situation is changing every time. And if people want to come on some directions, they have to
We seem to have lost that line with Major Pavlo, but an important voice really giving us a perspective of what's going on as far as the ground reality is concerned. Rhythm, that was Major Pavlo, serving officer in the Ukrainian army, really putting out facts in place for us. We'll keep getting our viewers many more such voices. Keep putting out non-stop live reports, as Republic is the only Indian channel getting you the latest from Ground Zero. For the moment, slipping to a very short break here.